Martin O'Neill is considering a tactical gamble that could change everything at Ibrox this weekend. Transfer talks are heating up for a Celtic loanee, and Rangers boss Danny Roll is still fuming about last week's collapse. Plus, a former Ibrox midfielder has admitted what he fears most about facing Celtic. It's all happening ahead of Sunday's massive Scottish Cup clash. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Celtic head to Ibrox for the second time in a week, this time with a Scottish Cup semi-final place on the line. Martin O'Neill has some key decisions to make, and one of them could involve starting a midfielder up front. O'Neill faces a few big calls ahead of Sunday's tie. One of them may involve asking one of Celtic's most reliable performers this season to operate in a role he rarely occupies. The striker position has been a problem area for much of the campaign. Kelechi Iheanacho has struggled with fitness issues, while January loan arrivals Thomas Kvankara and Junior Adamu have managed just one goal each since coming through the door. Daisen Maeda, normally such a relentless presence at the top end of the pitch, has looked short of his usual sharpness in recent weeks. It leaves the question of who leads the line in one of the biggest games of the season. Benjamin Nygren's numbers this year make for interesting reading. The Swede has quietly become Celtic's most productive player in front of goal. Since arriving from FC Nordsjælland in July, Nygren has scored 19 goals and provided 7 assists in 46 appearances. Break that down further, and it becomes even more impressive. 19 goals from just 31 starts. Most of those outings have come from midfield. Nygren is not the classic number 10 who wants to drift everywhere or carry the ball over long distances. His strength has been his awareness inside the box. Time and again this season, he has appeared in the right area at the right moment. Loose balls, second phases, rebounds and cutbacks have all fallen kindly for him because he reads situations quickly. That raises the possibility that O'Neill could use him further forward at Ibrox. Rather than asking him to chase channels or stretch the back line, the instruction could be simple. Stay central, stay close to the penalty area, and be ready when the chance drops. Celtic's wide players would then become key to making that work. Maeda's running power could create the space for cutbacks into dangerous areas. Young winger Tenekti has shown a willingness to deliver early crosses when he gets into wide positions. If the service arrives, Nygren's instinct inside the 6-yard box might be exactly what Celtic need. On the opposite flank, James Forrest will feel he has earned serious consideration for a start. The veteran winger made an immediate impact from the bench against Aberdeen last time out. It was Forrest's delivery that found Nygren for the late winner, a reminder that the pair already have a connection. O'Neill may see value in putting that understanding on the pitch from the first whistle rather than waiting to use it later in the game. There is a clear argument for trying something different. Celtic cannot afford the kind of slow opening that put them under pressure last weekend. Cup football does not allow room for recovery over 90 minutes. There will be no share of the points this time. One goal could decide it, and Nygren has made a habit of being exactly where the ball lands when it matters most. Now for the main story, as Marcelo Saraki's future at Celtic has taken another twist after his agent confirmed discussions with the Hoops chief executive about a possible permanent move. The Uruguayan left-back joined the Hoops on loan from Boca Juniors last summer. He arrived as competition for Kieran Tierney and has mostly played a supporting role when called upon. Tierney's presence has limited Saraki's minutes, but the defender has still shown enough in his appearances to suggest he is capable of pushing for a starting role when needed. His experience has helped when Celtic have rotated the back line during busy stretches of the season. Now the conversation has moved beyond the pitch. Saraki's representative says talks have already taken place with Celtic as the club considers whether to keep the player in Glasgow beyond the current loan deal. His agent, Marcelo Teixeira, revealed that a meeting with Celtic chief executive Michael Nicholson was scheduled to discuss the possibility of turning the loan into a permanent transfer. He said, "I even have a meeting tomorrow today with the CEO of Celtic because they want to start moving forward regarding the purchase. Let's see how things go from here until the end of the loan. If it's good to leave it there, then it's good that he can go to a team in England who called me, or some other Brazilian team. Because what I'm telling you is, playing for a team as big as Celtic, playing in the Europa League, gives you more visibility, flexibility, which is what is being focused on. Saraki's future will depend on several factors. Boca Juniors still hold his contract, and any permanent move would require agreement between the clubs. Celtic also need to decide how they want the left side of the defence to look next season. Tierney remains the first choice when fit, but injuries have already forced changes during the campaign. If Tierney misses Sunday's derby, Saraki could have the chance to show again that he can handle the role. A strong performance in a match of that intensity would only strengthen the case for keeping him in Glasgow beyond the current loan spell. In other news, Celtic's late comeback in last weekend's Glasgow derby is still clearly on the mind of Rangers manager Danny Röhl as the sides prepare to meet again in the Scottish Cup. The two teams meet at Ibrox on Sunday with a place in the semi-final on the line. The league clash a week ago ended 2-2 after Celtic fought back from 2 goals down in the second half. For long spells, Rangers controlled the match. They pressed high, moved the ball forward quickly, and forced Celtic deep in the first half. The shift came after the break as Celtic began to keep the ball longer in midfield. The Hoops started to push Rangers back. The introduction of fresh legs helped. The equaliser arrived late and changed the tone around the stadium. From Celtic's point of view, it was another example of a team that rarely stops chasing a result. Röhl admits the late goal still frustrates him as his side prepares for the cup meeting. He said, "I don't know when was the last time Rangers dominated Celtic like this in the first 50 minutes. We are disappointed after the late equaliser. A 2-0 lead is always dangerous." The derby showed two very different spells of football. Rangers' early pressing pinned Celtic inside their own half and forced mistakes. Once Celtic settled, the ball started moving through Callum McGregor more often. That changed the rhythm of the game. Kieran Tierney's attacking runs from left back also stretched Rangers late on. When the game opened up, Celtic began to find space between the lines. The late equaliser summed up a pattern seen several times this season. Celtic have taken points late in matches when games looked lost. It has happened against Kilmarnock, Dundee and Livingston. Sunday's cup tie will likely follow a similar pattern. Rangers will try to start quickly again. Celtic know the pressure moments will come. If the match stays tight into the final stages, recent games suggest Celtic will still believe there is something there to take. Lastly, Celtic loanee Marcelo Saraki had the chance to leave during the January transfer window, according to his agent. The Uruguayan left-back arrived in Glasgow on loan in the summer, providing cover and competition for Kieran Tierney. While opportunities have been limited, Saraki has shown enough in his appearances to suggest he is capable of pushing for a starting role. His representative, Marcelo Teixeira, has now revealed that a return to Uruguay was a genuine possibility earlier this year. Speaking to Belavip, Teixeira confirmed both Nacional and Peñarol explored deals for the 27-year-old during the winter window. The two Uruguayan giants were keen to bring Saraki home, but the move never materialized, and he remained at Celtic. There has been no clear explanation as to why the transfer failed to progress. It is also unclear whether Celtic were unwilling to sanction an exit midway through the season, or if other factors halted the deal. Saraki joined Celtic on loan from Boca Juniors, with the Scottish champions paying a fee to secure the deal. Crucially, there is no option to buy included in the agreement, meaning he is currently scheduled to return to Argentina at the end of the campaign. That situation could still change. According to the same report, Boca Juniors are very likely to consider negotiating a permanent transfer once Saraki returns to the club. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.